A very good evening to everyone in the Materia Medica session. Since last two lectures, we are discussing regarding the one of the big polycrest and antipsychotic remedy, that is Thuja Occidentalis. Many aspects of Thuja we have covered. The action upon the mind, action upon the head, action upon the ENT part, eye, nose, throat, ears, then the GI tract whole right from the mouth to the anus, everything we have discussed in detail along with many cases I have shared. Today we're going to learn concluding part of the Thuja Occidentalis. Before going into that, I want to share one case where few important characteristics which I have seen in that case regarding the skin complaint. Generally, it has been noted or it has been said that Thuja is the remedy for the warts, but not for each and every wart Thuja is the remedy. Viral warts, Thuja is not the remedy. I have seen a case nearly about the 25 years of age. She was female and she was having multiple warts in axilla and around the genitals. Multiple. And they were all pedunculated. Basically, problem was that they were itching, and whenever she used to scratch over that, there was a lot of burning. There was a typical smell which was there with a sweetish honey-like smell was there with that area. Second important thing, along with that, being a short stature, she had one important feature which I have observed. I saw her nails, and nails were absolutely deformed, crumbling, looking like a fungus. And when I asked what is the problem with your nails, she said that doctor has said it is a fungus, nail fungus. And I have done a lot of treatment for last 2 3 years, but it is not getting cured. So eruptions only on covered parts, warts only in covered parts, pedunculated warts, cauliflower-like warts associated with severe itching, scratching aggravates the burning, with a sweetish smell around the genitals, with deformed nails, crumbling nails, a typical picture of Thuja Occidentalis. So I prescribed the Thuja in that case, and I have repeated the Thuja. I have started Thuja 6 TDS. It was a week back. It was early in my practice. I have started with Thuja 6. LM was not available that time. And I have started Thuja 6 and repeated it nearly about 10 days and asked her to meet me after 10 days. When she returned, she was very happy. I asked what has happened. And she said 50% of the warts had disappeared. It was in I was shocked because I was not expecting this, because these are the disorders which are very difficult to cure and it takes long time. But it works so nicely. And when I saw her nails, the nails were developing very nicely. So I have continued the placebo with her because medicine has already acted in that case. I have kept her on placebo for another 15 days and asked her to meet me after 15 days. She returned after 15 days, nearly about 75% of the warts disappeared. She was feeling better, she was improving, and her nails were getting recovered completely. And then again after a month when I called, she was completely cured with the warts with the tinea unguialis. So see, this is the Thuja. Action of Thuja is you have to understand, and you have to understand the characteristics of the Thuja warts. Thuja warts generally appears to be there in covered parts. Thuja warts are pedunculated. Thuja warts are cauliflower-like. They are itching. The patient scratches over there. It produces the burning. There is always a sweetish smell around the genitals that is very characteristic of the Thuja. And last important thing which is there, that nails, always look the nails of the Thuja. There is Tinea ungualis, which you can very commonly find it out. One more remedy which you can think is antinclude, that is for the Tinea ungualis. So you must have these clinical appearances of the remedies with which you can approach and you can prescribe. So that's the only case which I have to share with you. Let us start with the remaining part of the remedy. We have finished up to GI tract, and last symptom which we have discussed was anus fissured, painful to touch, surrounded with the flat warts and moist mucus condylomata. Let us go ahead with the next feature. There was a question asked by Dr. Utpal yesterday regarding this cohesion problem. Cohesion prevented by extreme sensitiveness of the vagina, and this is very characteristic with Thuja. Very sensitive vagina, but why it is so? It is sensitive because there is an inflammation, there is irritation, there is a leukorrhea. This is affection of the female genital tract. Generally, a pelvic inflammatory diseases. This part is very marked, and because of which patient has an aversion to cohesion. In case of platina, there is a nymphomania, very sensitive nymphomania. Or slightest touch stimulates them, but at the same time it prevents because it goes into the spasm. That is there with platina. Then he has compared three more remedies, lycol, lysine, and natrum. In all, there is a vaginal dryness because of many things. In case of females who have lost the emotions, the dryness develops over there. Lycopodium, early senility which is there because of which it happened. So such things which we have to understand when we read the remedy again and again, then we catch this depth and we understand all those things. So this is what he has explained, that cohesion is prevented by extreme sensitiveness of the vagina. And then he turns toward the skin. Skin, and in the earlier part also he has mentioned skin is dirty. Here also he says skin looks dirty. Brown and brownish white spots here and there. So brownish spots here and there, very important of Thuja. Warts, italics. See, it is given in italics. Warts. How are the warts? They are large. They are seedy. They are pedunculated like Staphysagrilla. Then, in the skin, eruptions only on covered parts and burns after the sketching. This is the characteristic of the Thuja eruptions. They are always on the covered parts, and whenever patient there is tremendous itching, and whenever patient scratches, it leads to a burning. That is characteristic of the Thuja. So skin complaints, if you read, you can find it out. These features we can watch many times in the patient. The brownish spots here and there, we get it many times, but we overlook. Multiple moles, multiple moles on the face and in chest area, it is carcinosis. Crops of moles, that is the rubric in complete repertory. Moles, crops of. Only remedy mentioned in complete repertory is carcinosis. Thuja, and is multiple words, and there are such a variety of words. Flesh feels as if beaten from the bones. So there is a whenever you see the ulcers over there, there is you can find the flesh as if beaten. There it is coming from the bones, like phytolacca. It is if it looks like as if someone is scraping, it is rustox. So there is very typical sensations are present, which are important to the Thuja. Sensation after urinating, as if some urine trickling in the urethra. It is little bit there with the Staphysagrilla also. Both remedies are psychotic, and in both remedies, this some remaining urine happens to be there. This sensation is always there. Severe cutting at the close of urination, like sarsaparilla, like lycopodium also, it has in specifically in the children when it happens, it is in lycopodium also. At the close of micturition, there is a severe burning cutting pain. Then next, he explains the very important characteristic of the Thuja fever. There is a chill which begins in thighs. Chill begins in back is gelsemium. So you must understand all those things, what exactly it means. Many patient talks in their specific way. डॉक्टर कळत नाही. They talks in Marathi, they talks डॉक्टर पाठीकडून थंडी येते. That is back. Chill begins in back. Gelsemium is the remedy. Chill runs up and down the back. Again, gelsemium is the remedy. So you have to understand what exactly patient says and what exactly it means. So Thuja is having a typical chill beginning in the thighs. Then there is a sweating stage, and sweating stage is more marked. Sweats only on uncovered parts. What is saying? Sweating is there, but where sweating is there? Sweating on the uncovered parts. The covered parts, there is no sweating. Uncovered parts, sweating. Or all over except the head. Head chod ke sab jagah. Except the head, all over the body, the sweating is there. Reverse of Cilicia. When he sleeps, sweats when he sleeps, stops when he wakes. Very important. Whenever patient sleeps, sweating is there. Whenever he's waking, there is no more sweating. Reverse of mucus nigra. Sweat profuse, sour smelling, fetid at night. So sweating is offensive, fetid, especially at night during sleep. This sweating is there. So these are two stages which are very marked with the thuja. The chill stage, which begins in thighs, and sweating only on covered parts, and as well as only during the sleeping phase. Perspiration smelling like honey on genitals. Underline this. And this, once you observe in a patient, once you understand, you will never forget that typical smell of the thuja. Perspiration smelling like honey on genitals. When walking, the limbs feels as if made up of wood. That is, sensations are lost. There are two more sensations. One more sensation is there. Sensation as if body, especially the limbs, were made up of glass and would break easily. So sensation as if the extremities are made up of glass, extremities are made up of wood. Such types of sensations which are very common with the Thuja. Delusion that his body is brittle. Brittle म्हणजे ठिसूळ. Easily broken. That such types of sensation are very common with the Thuja, and that's why they are very, very cautious regarding the approach. They never allows you to touch their body, to examine their body. Then next sentence, which is very important. Yesterday I have shared a case of gonococcal rheumatism. This is the case, suppressed gonorrhea causing articular rheumatism. So gonorrhea is suppressed and rheumatism is developed. This is wonderful remedy. Rheumatism disappears, gonorrhea reappears if you use Thuja. Prostatitis, the psychosis, impotence, condylometalata, and many constitutional troubles. See, suppressed gonorrhea causing articular rheumatism, prostatitis, the psychosis, the impotence, the condylomata, and many constitutional troubles which develop because of suppressed gonorrhea. So why Hahnemann considered this as a king of antipsychotics? Because this is very typical picture of the psychotic miasm which is defined in this remedy, which one must understand. And then last, which I have shared with this case, nails deformed and brittle like antincrude. Antincrude is another very important remedy for tinea anguilis. Unique brittle nails. They crumbles very easily, breaks. Another other than Thuja. But antincrude, the tongue is typically thick white coated, which defines antincrude. In antincrude, you get the callosities, corns more than warts. That is another feature which is common with the antincrude. So here complete the remedy, and now he explains the relationship. See the relationship he mentions: complementary is medorinum, complementary sabina, complementary silicia. Three remedies which he mentions as a complementary. Compare the cannabis sativa for gonococcal urethritis and gonococcal rheumatism, cantharis for burning micturition, copaiva and staphysagraria again for the similar complaints. Cinevaris is preferable for warts on prepuce. Very underline this. When your warts are there on the prepuce, specifically the poor part of the penis, Cinevaris is more important remedy than the Thuja Occidentalis. These hints one should not forget. These hints are very useful in your practice. And last he says, it follows well after medorinum, after mercurius, after nitric acid, after these three remedies. The Thuja is one of the important remedy one should not forget. And then the general modalities. Here, Allen mentions aggravations, aggravation at night, aggravation from the heat of bed, aggravation at 3 a.m., 3 p.m. Underline, this is key modality of the time modality of the Thuja Occidentalis. 3 a.m., 3 p.m. aggravation, 12 noon, 12 night, arsenic album. Time modalities are very, very essential. Many times we can solve the cases on the basis of that. Aggravation from cold, damp air, like every psychotic remedy, and aggravation from narcotics, very important. So narcotic medicines always aggravate the complaints. Think of Thuja. Modalities amelioration in the if you open the Borix Matermedica, you get these open air ameliorates, rubbing ameliorates. These are two important modalities which are mentioned by Boric regarding the amelioration. There was one question, Thuja Q as an external application for words. My suggestion is that first treat internal with the internal remedy, and after a treatment of 1 and 2 months, then you start giving local using the Thuja Q locally. Otherwise, what happens sometimes if you remove the wart locally and internal disorder remains, it always aggravates the complaint. So it is always better to give the Thuja internally if the Thuja is the remedy, and then apply the Thuja locally later after span of a month or two. Any other query, question is there? We'll have a chat.
So some photographs for this warts, no different types of warts will be very useful, sir, because we are unable to identify the things. Something it is
Okay.
very tricky. It is true because it is while reading we are able to understand, but while seeing, yes, it means.
Yes, I will share it tomorrow or day after tomorrow or next week. I will definitely share the different varieties of words. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other query? Thuja complements melorinum. Can we give start at same time, or we should wait for action? You should not give. You have to wait. Generally, Thuja is chilly, melorinum is hot. If you have to find it out what is the exact remedy. Start it. If Thuja is not able to get complete cure in the patient, then you have to think of the complementary medorinum. But there is not only a single remedy, medorinum is there. There are other also. So you should not think of medorinum always. You have to think about all things which you have to take into consideration while prescribing. There are arsenic is also complementary, natrum sulf is also complementary, sabina is complementary, silicia is complementary, medorinum is. 5 remedies are mentioned by the Boric in the last part in Gibson Miller's remedy relationship. And Thuja itself is a very deep acting remedy. It takes 60 days of action is there with Thuja. So you should not repeat it fast or change the remedy fast. Okay. Any other query question? So we'll have another remedy. We'll discuss tomorrow session. Thank you being there, and we'll continue with our series. Thanks a lot.